brain development is much more than a story about biology. From the earliest years, relationship plays an important key role in building the mind of a child. What is your understanding of childhood traumas and how do you respond to it?
I am dealing with children mostly with special needs, and therefore I do come across a lot of children who have faced adversities. I will not always call it trauma, because trauma is something which we commonly associated with physical trauma, and children in the early years or even from the womb of their mother would face some adverse events in life, and each of these adverse events, whether it is a physical adverse event or it is a medical adverse event, it is some emotional trauma that the child is facing.
Can you elaborate what are the types of adverse events which can affect a child's mental health?
So, like I mentioned earlier, so there will be different types of traumas, and the level of those adverse events or the challenges would be different age appropriately. So, for a very young child, say a newborn baby, if the baby is born prematurely, maybe have been admitted in the NICU, would be an adverse event. Whereas for a child who is say 3 years of age and starting to go to preschool, the first 15 days probably of going to school, and especially if the school is very far from home, the child has been brought up in a very closed environment, that also can be an adverse event.
Can you please share your thoughts about the impacts that trauma has on mental health of youth and any ideas you have for building resilience in youth?
So a very simple basic fact of life is that each of us is going to face challenges every step of the way. Now, how we process that challenge makes us resilient or makes us feel emotionally unable to accept or face those challenges.
Can you tell us about not a success story, a client with whom you weren't able to successful? Like what were the issues and what lessons did you apply from it?
I can't give you a very specific situation, definitely because of confidentiality issues. But yes, we often face, in our practice, face situations where we feel unable to help the person more. Okay, so especially children who are on the autism spectrum, and they come to us a little late. So if we start early intervention, that works very well with most children. But there would be some who come to us, say at 6, 7, 8 years of age, where it becomes very difficult to help the child overcome the challenges that the child has because of the neurodevelopmental condition, the challenges that the parents are facing.
Nowadays, most of the children are like depressed and sad and everything. But in the ancient time, there were like children who never had to deal with such situations. So, what is the main reason that today's children are having such situations with them?
So, great question. But I wouldn't always put it into black and white. There were situations where children earlier also were facing these traumas. And children today are definitely having a different set of challenges. Okay, so what I would have faced as a teenager, probably you may not be facing the same type of challenges, but the intensity is still the same. Yes, the way I processed it as a teenager, I had a very strong backup social system, which I think is one of the things which is now missing. There are more nuclear families. They are very isolated within the family itself also. So, the father is busy doing something, the mom is busy doing something, the kids are on their own. And if this family setup is not corrected at an early age, then this can definitely lead to issues with resilience. The child cannot cope. Right.
And we are really appreciate your presence here. We really appreciate what you are doing. Like it's a really good job, and we are really inspired from you today. We are obliged for your presence here to talk over childhood traumas, and your thoughts will really help those affected persons to build a high self-esteem and have a proper and blissful life in the future.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.